Sorry, folks. Looks like I'm back in here. Unfortunately, our kill screen is bugged, but we'll get that as soon as anybody
Welcome
actually
back.
gets a kill. Hey, man. Sorry about that. I got completely disconnected off the entire internet.
I noticed.
Yeah. Let me know if the stream comes back online. It shouldn't be offline for more than about, hopefully, a minute or so. But do let me know if it stays offline for longer than that, and I'll stop and restart it. So, what did I miss?
Not much. Classic does finally manage to get his level 6 after being forced to the jungle for a while, but ultimately not that big of a deal for him. Armlet almost done on Lifestealer though. Ben Haas almost ready to start murdering people.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Ben Haas, he's had a great game. He's got his Midas. He's now 83 for 54. I mean, just think of how much denied XP that represents. 55 denies is just insane, but he might get picked off here, actually. Ben Haas copying a little too much damage. He pops a heal. He's actually infested. Oh, this is a lot of HP back. What a nice escape overall here. I really thought that he was going to go down, but instead he finishes the armlet and makes it out okay. Wow. He's going to Midas on his way out. He's going to Midas on his way out. He's going to... Oh, Ben Haas.
Oh, he's going back. He's going back.
Come on. I won't even watch them kill Dust Gaming's players here. I need to see him actually. Here goes the Omni Slash. One quick pick off on Dement there. Going to try to hurt Daiko as well. John just trying to stay on top of Daiko. 2 more hits, I think. There's the drums charge popped. There's the track. Now he won't be able to get away. Nice Sprout, actually, but will they be able to pick him off anyway? Yes, they do. A kill for Classic, an important kill, too. Illuminate coming through. John just TPing away. That's very, very smart, actually. And it looks like Classic will walk away from this, too. So, Dust, I feel like they're okay with this overall. The only downside is no pick off on Ben Haas.
Almost. Ben Haas almost went down. Had he not have raged, the overload slow would have killed him.
Right.
But it brings him so much closer. Ush almost has the first Oblivion. Actually, he has the first Oblivion
I think he has it, yeah.
Yep, he's almost done with the... he's about almost halfway done with his Orchid. And once he has the Orchid, Ben Haas is not going to feel safe.
Right.
He is not going to be safe anywhere, actually.
Right. You can't do those tricky Rage Infest combos and stuff like that if you are silenced and then killed. And if Bounty Hunter is lurking nearby, it's not just that you'll die. It's not just that it slows your development. It's also that it's getting the other team a lot of gold and a lot of development themselves. Actually, Daiko might get cut out here. He's being chased by the Vendetta. Impale will hit. It looks like Ush is going to come in here. Doesn't quite get the long enough ball lighting, but he goes again. Do they have Lasso? They might not need it. There's one more hit. Oh no, Daiko actually makes it out, and it's getting completely turned around. Snog gets picked off by Ben Haas, and now Ush needs to run as well. Did he have a regen rune? Yeah, he did have a regen rune. I can't believe they didn't get Daiko there, and actually losing the next assassin is no joke. Unfortunately, that first attempt at ganking completely stymied. Meanwhile, John moves towards his Yasha.
It's a little bit of a misplay on Ush. He kind of popped off his Static Remnant before he got his right click off with the Overload charge, so that was about 70 damage after Magic Resist that didn't end up going through. So, a small misplay. Did make the difference between them getting the kill or not, sadly, but honestly, the bigger problem was that ultimately Snod did end up going down at the end of that fight. So,
yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, losing the Nyx, another kill on Ben Haas, he improves himself to 2-0-0, full armlet, still using that Midas. If we look at the levels, he is level 10. Ush, of course, is level 11. He's top of the pops in that respect. But Ben Haas is a little bit ahead of where John is, and he's got to feel fairly comfortable about just that fact. Ush is silenced, Dream Coil comes out, he's actually still going to chase, and I told you, man, this guy gets hyped, but no! The ultimate from Dement is enough, and good mana burn from Sna there, actually making sure that they get something out of this. But Classic runs in, and he gets dropped off immediately. Dement now with a double kill, 2-1 and 2 on this Lion. Power Treads and 600 gold on top of it. That was a fairly serious mistake for Dust again. They still can't get this ganking lineup to actually gank. And Daiko might be in trouble here from John. John, you know, being the patient one here on his team, waiting for reinforcements before he goes in for this gank. Here we go. The Purge comes out. They probably don't need Omni Slash. He's just going to spin to win. Oh, spin with the Soul Catcher is just so much damage. And that's a killing spree for this Juggernaut. So that's the good side for Dust. That Jug is getting... There's the open wounds. He will attempt to TP out, and no, he doesn't make it. Dement comes in again. Oh my goodness. Dement MVP so far for Netolic. He's everywhere he needs to be. And these CCs have been so absolutely critical. I'm shocked that he managed to make it in time for that, actually, but they gotta be so glad that he did.
Very crucial TP timing. I actually thought he was going to be just a second too late because Ben Haas TP'd just before he did, before Dement.
Right.
So that would have made the TP time a little bit longer. So honestly, that was very close.
Yeah.
What is Benha's going to build next, though? If this could be a race car Lightstealer, that is the face boots picked up. So it's hard to say.
Well, he would need drums as well. Is anybody else building drums? Not yet. So we'll see if he actually does go the drums next, which would be a little more FNC, a little more race car-y. But we'll see. It's not something we commonly see outside of Asia just yet. I still think it's going to make a big splash, but it hasn't quite made it yet.
Classic got completely spotted out by this whole Sentry Ward combo. And honestly, these are fantastic wards to put down because you do have a Nyx and a Bounty Hunter to deal with, and without vision.
So they're going to try for Daiko again. Hopefully it goes a little better. There's the lasso. There's the impale, actually. No problem to get the kill this time. Chim rotating over just to help them out a little bit more, but Netolic are just going to seek to check the trade in the mid, so they clear out the wave extremely quickly. Classic is here. I don't think he actually should try to deny this. He doesn't. Pick up for Munra. He has his Blink Dagger, 600 gold on top of it. DG now seeking to take the trade bottom, but Netolic are coming in. We've got 1 TP back here. They're going to come in. There's the Blinding Light just to delay. Buyback from Daiko, but unfortunately Omni Slash already picked somebody up. So Keeper of the Light on the ground. Actually, Daiko will die immediately from his buyback, but wow, Munra with the huge damage. Daiko walks away again from yet another fight. Munra is copying quite a bit of damage as well, but Snaz on the ground. Ush will continue to try to chase. Double kill there. He picks up Munra and Daiko. The tower will, however, pick him up. And Dement mopping up in the back as well. An attempted kill there, but unfortunately Classic forced to peel off as John is just too low to pursue this any longer. He's got his Yasha, but who actually had the advantage in that fight?
It's a 3v3 trade. I'm giving the edge, honestly, to Netolic because they were able to get the tower in the mid lane. And when you look at the towers that Dust got, it was denied. So I'm giving the edge to NTL there. On a plus note, Ush got another double kill, and that's going to put him much closer to his Orchid, and that's a big deal. The problem is, Benhaz is absurdly fat, sitting on 3,200 gold now.
That's a lot of money. I mean, you can just see that throughout all this, even though
Orchid
Benhaz has participated. Sorry, what?
Orchid is the buy. Benhaz is going for Orchid.
Interesting. That's going to be huge against Storm Spirit.
Oh, and the problem is he's going to get it faster than Ush.
Yeah, I was going to say, he may well get it faster than Ush, because Benhaz, I mean, 113 last hit, 63 denies, which I still think is crazy. This guy has more denies at this point than many pub players would have last hits at this point. But just the fact that he got that Midas and has farmed so well, and has 5 kills on top of it, is just very, very remarkable. This Lifestealer is a big deal, and this Orchid is likewise a big deal, especially if he hits it before Ush, which I think he will.
He absolutely will. Ush still doesn't have enough money for the second Oblivion staff.
Right.
That's problem number 1. And problem number 2 is that Benhaz, gets another kill. Almost. Sna.
They're chasing out good defensive disruption. Sna actually okay here. Dement catching a bit of it, but the mechanism gets thrown out. He's on the ground. Actually, Benhaz copping a crap ton of damage as well. Good turnaround by Dust so far. Will they get more? Zender is taking a lot of damage. Classic manages to pick it up with a shuriken. And 3 kills so far for them right here. Bing, bang, boom. Buyback from Sna. They're going to continue chasing. They have Omni Slash. Will Munra get picked off by it? He just popped Phase Shift. All they need to do is Omni Slash. There it is. He manages to illusory orb through the middle of it. And he silences. No, not quite enough. The Dream Coil and the Silence. 4 down for Netolic. And Dust really seizing the advantage there while they still possibly could. While the Orchid still wasn't up on the Lifestealer. And 4 kills from nowhere. Most of them with track gold. Dust Gaming seizing really carpeing the hell out of this DM, man.
Alright. On the plus note, that actually puts Ush on par with Benhaz's Orchid. He's actually going to be tied now.
He is about 200 gold away now.
Yeah, so he's actually now a little bit ahead. I don't even remember how much Oblivion stats cost.
1675.
Yeah, so he's actually incredibly close. And honestly, this is really the fight. Who can get the Orchid first, and that guy's going to win.
Well, if they get it at the same time, then...
If they get it at the same time,
it's a draw.
then Benhaz is going to win, to be honest, because... The problem with Storm Spirit's damage output is that it's mostly magical damage built around his overload ability. The more spells he can cast, the more damage he can do. If he can't cast spells, his damage output is neutered, and this is in large part because of his design.
And he's a Ball Lightning heavy Storm Spirit too. Him and Ruxka Solo both use Ball Lightning for a large amount of their damage, and that also requires you to be able to cast.
But the big problem is you can't really build straight int items on Storm Spirit like you would on other int heroes because of the nature of the Ball Lightning. Because of its scaling mana cost, his best stat by a huge margin is not int, but regen
Sure.
items.
Regen's definitely, yeah. Yep.
And as a result, his right-click damage tends to be weaker because of it. Outside of pure damage items, which he generally won't build until ultra late.
Right.
Maybe a Divine Rapier if they're really ahead. Honestly, one of the better items, I think, on Storm Spirit because he's hard to kill.
I don't think we'll see a Divine Rapier on us this game. If any
Storm Spirit
could be expected to make it, might be him or Korok or Sing Sing or something. But still, I suspect not.
More likely is probably going to be a Bloodstone if they decide to go for it. That said, I think Storm Spirit's best options are either to tank up or to damage up, and he does have that Orchid finish now.
Sure. Smoked up for Netolic, so they want to turn this around. They felt the sting of that last engagement, and they want to show Dust that they mean business as well. I mean, they were building a very substantial nest egg there, up to about 4,000 gold advantage, dropping all the way back down to less than 1k as a result of that fight. And they're not happy about it, clearly. And now they're using Daiko. He's been the person that Dust has targeted so many times. Then Netolic are like, okay, please do target him. We'll bait you into an engagement. But Dust so far don't appear to be biting. They're not even on that side of the map.
It looks like Dust has decided that they can try to win these 5v5 engagements, but with the Juggernaut, they're better off just pushing. And that is a finished Manta Style on John. They're actually going for Roche instead.
He finishes off his Manta Style. 6-1 for this Juggernaut. 6-1-3, in fact, whereas Lifestealer's 5-1-1. Of course, Lifestealer's gotten more last hits and just more farm in general, in addition to the Midas. But it looks like a very quick Roshan, actually, for DG here, managing to bring this down pretty quickly, considering they don't have much in the way of armor reduction. But the healing ward, keeping them up, because that is a ridiculously powerful ability. It heals you for such insane amounts. But here come Netolic. They know about this, actually. Munra's got his Blink and his Illusory Orb, but he's just a bit too late. Even if he orbs in now. Oh! All the way around. Ush, actually, he is silenced out, so he will drop immediately. That Aegis didn't last very long. Omni Slash coming through. John doing what he can. He's going to have to Blade Fury pretty quickly. He does pick up a kill. 1 for 1 so far. Classic on the ground. The Aegis, of course, was down. Double kill for Benhaz so far. Ush trying to make something happen here. John actually cops a second hit of the Dream Coil. Benhaz silenced now. He is Orchided, but he is dealing a lot of damage to Ush. Ush actually has to clear the heck out of here before he dies. Oh no! He actually Bow Lightnings and dies in the middle of the Bow Lightning. Daiko stunned out. John is going to have to clear the heck out of here as well. Wow, Netolic really seizing the advantage in that fight, I feel. Only 2 losses. They bring down Ush. They bring down Ush's Aegis. No track kills. Oh, the Orchid. John will remove it with the Manta Style. Very, very smart of him. And he makes it out of here no problem. But I still feel like Netolic responding very well to that Roshan.
Absolutely. Fantastic play. And what we really saw there was the fact that the Orchid just completely neuters any Storm Spirit. And I really liked this pickup from Benhaz.
Yeah.
That was a very smart pickup. That said, I feel that Storm Spirit now needs to pick up something to diffuse it off of himself.
BKB.
Either a BKB or a Manta Style. Probably a BKB, to be honest. But you know what
BKB.
I mean. It has to be a BKB because it gives him the tank and the damage. But if it was really
this dream of the hard carry Storm Spirit, stop it right now. You're talking about rapiers and Manta Styles.
Let me tell you something. When I first started playing Dota, my first heroes were Invoker, Storm Spirit, and Pudge.
And you built Armlet on all of them, I'm sure.
No, actually, build Armlet on both.
Hard carry Storm Spirit will never die. I have actually done the hard carry Invoker build that doesn't bother invoking any spells. It's not very good.
I tried Wexort once.
Sure, Wexort's real, man. Wexort's a real build.
Wexort gets you killed. That's what that does.
It does. It does. It gets you... no, Wexort gets you Dota Cinema highlight reels, but not actually game wins.
No, not really, because it kind of neuters your cold snap.
Right.
You know, your best spells.
Right,
On a
right.
Pleasant, you get like ridiculous meatballs, but you know, is it worth it?
No. Alright, so Netolic, they're going to pressure the top here. Benhaz's farm has substantially slowed down. He's only gotten like 20 last hits in the last 6 minutes or so. But that said, he's participated in so many fights, actually getting a gem. And this is another fantastic pickup. It means that their most tanky, most difficult to kill hero is also the one who's going to spot out all these bounty hunter ganks. And this is excellent. Actually a tower kill as well. And Benhaz is actually getting scarier and scarier by the moment. Do you think he's going towards heart?
Probably. That's what the Vite booster says. Unless he decides to, build in a toast or something silly.
I mean, it could be a casual Vit booster, too.
Yeah, but I find it hard to believe on Lifestealer to build a casual anything.
Sure.
That said, I feel like he should have gone for the Desolator.
Actually, Benhaz catching Chim out. Chim, unfortunately, just way away from where he needs to be, but That's okay. It's Shadow Demon Kill isn't the end of the world, except insofar as it continues to feed out this Lifestealer. 508 gold per minute. I mean, Benhaz at this point is cruising, and Dust are going to have to find a way to deal with this sooner rather than later.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like if he does go for the heart, Dust are not going to be able to get that kill on him. On Benhaz. It's just not going to happen. He doesn't have enough int for Nyx Assassin to really burn him down too quickly.
No.
Lifestealer does have quite a bit of armor at 11. Not like a significant amount, but it's enough. He has over 2,000 health right now with just the armlet.
Sure.
And when
armor
the Blink Dagger
reduction will be good. So, I would love something like Cuirass on Bounty Hunter after BKB. And
I think they don't have the
Desolator
time.
on Juggernaut or something, or vice
I don't
versa.
think they have the time for that. I think they need to go for a Courage Medallion.
Yeah, Medallion of Courage on Bounty Hunter would work too. Plus Dezo on either Bounty Hunter or Juggernaut, I think would be very useful in addition to bolstering their push a little bit. Right now we do get a tower trade, so it's a tier 1 for a tier 2. Dust are probably going to feel fairly good about that. They're actually up a tower, so they're up this middle tower, and it looks like they'll just clear out the Ancient stack while they're here. Make sure that Benhaz can't get too far ahead, considering the fact that he does have this Midas that's ticking every 100 seconds, continuing to add to his gold total. Midas is that weird item that just, it adds golden XP that isn't there. Like, you could be farming the whole map, and then you can be farming the whole map and have Midas, and it's just a different plateau.
Yeah, absolutely is the case. The only problem with the Midas is that it does tend to neuter your mid-game a bit, but clearly Benhaz did not get that memo and has been getting lots of kills through this mid-game.
Ah, yes, the neutered 9-1-1 Lifestealer.
It tends to neuter your mid-game by delaying the armlet by a significant margin, but in this case he got such good farm, such free farm on this bottom lane, he never had any problems to begin with.
Right.
John, his name says Jan, but anyways, John...
You can say Jan if you want, I don't know that it's actually John.
Does have 3,300 gold, though, so he might be looking at picking up Butterfly next, and that would be a fantastic item to let him go toe-to-toe with Benhaz as a whole.
I love the idea of
here's
Butterfly on this Juggernaut. I mean, he is their number 1, he is their damage dealer, and it gives you so much attack speed, opportunities to crit, and the evasion, which is fantastic, both against Benhaz and Daiko, frankly, too. Although he doesn't have anything in the way of carry items yet. He does have 2,000 gold. It might be Sheepstick after all, but even Sheepstick gives Nature's Prophet pretty good damage because people forget, but he is not in fact an agility hero. He is an intelligence hero. He gets attack damage from intelligence.
That said, Benhaz is now only 600 gold away from his heart.
Yeesh.
And that is... This is when Lazy Man's Lifestealer comes in handy. With heart and armlet, you just leave the armlet on for life. I do that all the time.
Right.
Because... You know, there's no downside anymore to leaving the armlet on. Especially as Lifestealer, who already gets regen when he's fighting, so...
Oh yeah, no, you can definitely leave the armlet on, mostly, except for when you want to toggle to escape carry situations.
Yeah, exactly. That said, this is... It's a weird build for Lifestealer. You generally don't see heart rushes on Lifestealers for the pure reason that you don't usually need this much survivability.
Sure, but I like it here.
Yeah, that said, Dust's lineup has so much burst damage and such short-term disable that I feel like this is the best way to go, given this matchup.
Absolutely. It'll let Benhaz just simply outlast Dust, and you can see Dust no longer feel like engaging Benhaz in a fair fight. They just go for the tower trades, and they're actually making it to this tower very late compared to Netolic making it to this tier 2. I feel like Netolic can just continue pushing, and they'll get to the tier 3 fairly quickly. Dust are going to have to scramble to actually defend this. They do have good pushing power, like they figured that out pretty quickly. You can just see the mass TPs coming out already, because Netolic are already on this tower, and Dust can't actually TP here. They have to TP here for the shorter time and then come over. But as a consequence, this tier 3 tower is going to go down very, very, very soon. Here we go. Ush is in. He starts going, but he has BKB up. He's doing damage, but not quite enough to kill anybody just yet. They don't have enough damage in Classic. He has to get a defensive disruption just to stay alive. John already popped his Omniscience, and it's still just only enough damage to pick off Zenders and nobody else. Actually, ooh, Dement completely whiffing his Lion ultimate there. The Finger of Death doing almost nothing. Snot trying to pick off Dement in the back here. He may actually pay for this. But Benhaz, even with the heart, he's running out of health. Oh no, they need to pursue this. They need to pursue these heroes. More than Daiko is needed here. They need to pick off Benhaz, in my opinion. He's still tracked. Dement is running. Benhaz is running, but he's starting to get this heart regen. He's already at 500 HP. He could toggle his armlet for another burst of 500. Dement, it looks like, will make it out here. He is getting Keeper recalled. Benhaz will make it out. And they get the tier 3 tower, even if they do lose some heroes for it.
On a plus note, Benhaz did end up dropping the gem somehow.
No, he gave it to somebody.
Someone
Before
dropped
that
the gem. I
fight.
guess it was Puck.
Oh yeah, Munra dropped the gem there.
So that's actually a big deal. That means that Dust now can gain some great map control as a result,
Right.
as well as keep the gem away from their
Classic.
bounty hunter,
Yeah.
Classic, and Sna.
That was actually a good defense from Dust, considering they were Johnny-come-latelys to that fight as a result of being behind on the tower trade. They were very good once they actually got in there. I do want to note... Oh, nice courier snipe there. I don't know if it was carrying anything. Do you know?
It was bringing something to Benhaz, but I'm not sure what.
Ooh, that's a very good courier kill then. 3 minutes without that. Excellent work, actually. The pick-off by Classic there. And that's the confidence that they lost the gem. It's like, you don't have gem? We are going to now do stuff like take your courier, do stuff like take map control. Excellent work there. No question about it. And Classic pretty close to his BKB as well. Let's take a look at gem situation. Yeah, 3 minutes until the restock on gem for Netolic, so they have a long time to wait for it.
Ush did finish up his BKB for that last engagement. That was a big deal. It managed to... Well, that and the silence was popped off onto Sna rather than to Ush. It ended up being a big deal because there was just nothing that Netolic could do to keep Ush from doing lots of damage.
Right.
The problem was, this is where Storm Spirit's damage starts to fall off. Because he is hugely based around his magical damage, his damage doesn't scale that phenomenally. So instead, he's now more of a nuisance rather than a huge threat.
Netolic, they've got a lifestealer inside of Daiko. Benhaz is waiting here, but we've got Roshan in about 10 seconds. So, he actually comes out. Interestingly enough, they don't end up trying to go for kills there. They actually will peel back a little. 2 sentry wards placed. So if there's a fight for Roshan attempted, they will just sort of be able to at least see the bounty hunter. But, I don't know, Netolic actually peeling off, and Roshan is now up. I wonder if they actually messed up their timer, because I saw them checking this. And unfortunately, they didn't quite find it out, so I wonder if they think they were way off on the timer. And I don't think the Sentry Ward will catch this out. I think they don't know that DG are in this pit. They're going to have to go on instinct.
They're drawing.
Yeah.
They just drew on the map. They know this is happening.
Okay. Well, I don't know what
Or they
these
think
drones
it's
mean,
happening.
actually.
But
These are some mysterious-ass scrawlings, dude. This is some, like, Lascaux cave painting shit.
yeah, you see, they just checked using the Treant.
Yeah, they checked the pit, and Netolic are smoked. So are Dust. So, a very serious cat-and-mouse development around the Roshan pit here. And who will actually catch out who? I feel like the team that initiates will have a fairly substantial advantage in the ensuing melee.
The only problem is going to be very hard for Dust to initiate with such good Sentry Ward placement here and here. It's basically preventing
Netolic,
any sort of...
Yeah. They're like in a little Sentry Ward fortress here.
Yeah, they're actually really well hidden, even if the smoke disappears.
This is like a diagram of like a European castle in like the middle of the forest or something. You see the like 3, like... If you go here into this Roshan pit, they will just drop boiling oil on you, like trivial easily.
Yeah, on a... I don't know. On a different note, if John decides to buy out, he can actually go to the side shop and buy out right now. He actually could finish up his butterfly at this moment.
Do you think that's a good idea?
No.
Okay. Well, elucidate us as to why.
Just because in the ensuing team fight, if John goes down, Dust are done, basically, because this is going to be a very quick smoke from Netolic. But now, Netolic,
no... TP scroll on that courier.
Oh.
Oh, we are so close to the engagement of the Sentry. Munra gets initiated on, immediately pops Spaceship. Very smart. Sna will actually die super fast here before being able to do anything. Huge Dream Coil. Actually, a ton of damage being thrown up in both directions. Ush will probably drop. He pops his BKB, but he has to flee from the fight. Dement copping a lot of damage from Classic here. His BKB runs down. Defensive Disruption on Chim. Actually, John is TPing out, so they've seeded this fight. It's 2 for 2. Both supports for both supports. And Classic just leaves the fight. Everybody leaving the fight, in fact.
Favorable engagement for Netolic, though. Favorable engagement for Netolic because Benhaz doesn't care if he doesn't die. He is just going to get his heart health back.
Sure.
So ultimately, this is a more favorable engagement for Netolic as a whole.
Well, Dust went to the fountain.
Yeah, but the problem is when you're going back to the fountain, you're ceding map control to a guy who doesn't need to go back anywhere anymore.
Right.
Especially with the Orchid, he actually has some reasonable HP mana regen, so he doesn't have to be concerned about that either.
Right. His net worth is definitely accelerating. I mean, we do have this lifestealer up to about 20k, 5k ahead of where John is on this Juggernaut. But the thing is, Ush is quite a bit ahead of where Daiko is, and I feel like that balances it out. Netolic.SA are really just a Benhaz team right now. I mean, he's delivering all their damage. There's the
MKB.
Demon Edge, so he's gonna hit that MKB soon, and at that point, the Butterfly will matter a lot less. Haste Room too, so forget Race Car Lifestealer. It's Formula 1 Lifestealer.
F1 Lifestealer, all up in this. Definitely a fantastic preemptive pickup. John has not bought out for his Butterfly, so it's actually a pretty big deal that Lifestealer is already preemptively going for this MKB. So,
ooh, they counter ward. This is actually a really big deal, this counter ward. So, Dust know now that Zenders is here. So they have to suspect that Netolic are going to make a play for this Roshan. But they just lost their vision of this area. Well, Netolic, they know what's going on here, they know what's going on here, and they have Sentry Ward coverage of this area. So this is basically a free fire zone if Classic tries to venture in here. And both teams still sort of circling around that Roshan. Who do you actually favor for the Rosh and why?
I'm giving it to Juggernaut because Omni Slash is fantastic in close quarters environments. If he had a Butterfly, it would be... not a Butterfly. A Battle Fury would be worth more. He doesn't. Still not the end of the world. That said, I don't know if they're going to be able to kill Benhaz. The problem is Benhaz, if he doesn't go down, is going to murder everything. He actually has over 3,000 health with the Armlet on. So, it's really tough for Dust to burst that down. They don't actually have enough damage.
Well, they had enough damage in the last fight, and he already had Heart there. I feel like it depends on how long Ush lives and whether he gets shut down at all.
Yeah, the big problem is that they can't silence him. He's going to be fine. And even if they do silence him, at this point he's probably going to be fine.
Well,
and once the MKB goes up, and that basically turns Jug's Eagle Song into a 3,200 gold, almost, I'd say a paperweight, but that's a little bit harsh, because you can still build the Butterfly for the raw stats, but I feel like, and this is ridiculous, but I say it anyways.
Don't say
no,
it.
I'm not going to say it I'm going to say he should have started with the Quarterstaff and built that into Refresher Orb if he saw that happen, picked up on Lifestealer.
Well, he didn't. They just saw the Demon Edge like a moment ago.
That's something that they should have predicted for. That's something that they could have seen coming.
Yeah, but
right. The problem was just timing. If they didn't know the timing at which Benhaz would get this. I think he got a lot sooner than Dustin. I
don't know about the Refresher, dude.
18 Omni Slash. Think about that for a second.
I'm thinking about it. I'm underwhelmed.
18 of them. Build a Scepter, build a Desolator. Now you have a one-man murdering machine.
He doesn't even have the mana to ult Refresher ult.
I think he actually does at this point.
No, he definitely doesn't. Not even close.
No, he only has 145. He needs like Arcane Boots from Snaw.
Sure. Alright. I'll stick to the play-by-play. That's fine. Refresher Orb, fine. We'll go with it. We'll do it live.
I'm allowed to dream of exciting builds.
Sure, no, definitely. We have seen it, honestly, even in pro games, but I just don't know that this is the context for it. But maybe it is. Daiko, meanwhile, building towards that, two players building towards Sights of Ice, and I feel like the Sights of Ice, when they come out from Netolic, could be very, very tough for Dust to deal with. By the time those Sights of Ice enter the battlefield, Dust's BKBs will be whittled down to a fraction of their former selves. Right now, Classic still has those on 9, but Ush's is already down to 8, so after a couple more fights, we'll see those on 7, 6, maybe even 5 seconds. And then if the Sights of Ice follow up and just lock down Ush in concert with those Orchids, that's going to be difficult to deal with.
Yeah, absolutely, and ultimately it comes down to the fact that once Ush gets picked off, that's almost all of Dust's disables, mostly because we've been seeing that in these fights, Sna usually just gets silenced or killed instantly, and that's been a huge problem for them as a whole. Sna's impact has been fairly light in this game.
I mean, it's a support Nyx Assassin, it's not a mid Nyx Assassin. He is the mechanism carrier for his team as well, and in that role he's served quite admirably. But yeah, you're right, it's not a Blink Dagger. Not like the Blink Dagger that Dement actually picked up based on his early performance. I mean, that's been quite useful for Netolic to find these initiations. Dement has had a slightly quieter game than he had early on. Early on, he was doing so much work for Netolic, and a little less now.
Lots of pinging, like, all over this Roche pit. Everyone wants to go for it before they push, but no one wants to be there first, because they know that they're going to be initiated on.
Yeah. Nobody wants to, nobody wants to be the idiot who's in the pit when the other team initiates on them.
But it just comes down to Lifestealer at his glorious 3,300 health and MKB. Again, MKB basically makes this this butterfly a lot worse than it could have been. It's a huge problem because now it's really just, and the stats for the cost aren't that good, honestly.
Right. Yeah.
Like 60 damage, 60 attack speed.
Yeah. I don't know. Both teams, they want Roche. They want him so much that they've held all their other plans for the game to focus on this Roshan, but they're not going on the Roshan.
Yeah, it's actually becoming a huge problem because now Nature's Prophet's just getting more and more gold. He's actually very, very close to his scythe. He's only 500 gold away or so. So, really dangerous. Once the scythe comes up and Ush's BKB drops, he's probably going to die very quickly. Ush is also going for a scythe as well.
And he's going faster. I mean, he has 432 GPM. This is a fairly slow developing Daiko. I mean, I like this. I like the non-greedy Storm Nature's Prophet builds. I think they really keep you in the game earlier because of that mechanism. But the flip side is, no early Midas means it's a 304 GPM Nature's Prophet. Nothing to crow about, and gonna be a fairly slow sheepstick as a result.
Yeah, it looks like, this is gonna be a huge smoke gang coming out of Dust. They're gonna be trying to flank onto this mid lane to try to pick off some people here. The problem is there's already some good sentry wards being put down, and a lot of scouting has happened from the Trions.
Yeah.
So,
just excellent sentrying from Netolic this whole game, or at least the last 15 minutes or so. Tense position here, though, folks. What a tense game. Both teams sort of circling around each other like piranhas in the water, and Dust, they might walk over this sentry ward.
Yep.
It's just classic, actually. I think just seeing classic.
No, there's
John. Now they know. Now they have a good idea. And oh my god, these sentry wards just peppering the landscape from Netolic. Can you just imagine how tense these teams have to feel right now? And DG, actually, Munra, he's in here. He's orchided. A lot of damage getting thrown out. There's the Impale. Munra will drop. One down for Netolic. This fight is beginning not too well for them. Sna is being shut down. Defensive disruption, but 2 kills, 3 kills in the back. 2 buybacks already for Netolic in this fight. Sna will finally get taken down, but Dement's getting torn apart. Ush is taking over this game right now. Oh no! Benhaz drops from the Omni Slash. Daiko will fall. It's a rampage for Ush and kills for John on top of that. It's, oh my god, Dust got the engagement of their lives there.
not only that, one, Blitz is definitely smiling a lot. 2 rampages on Storm Spirit in 2 days in a pro match. Like, that's awesome. But 2, Ush now has his Scythe device, and that means he's going to silence the Lifestealer, he's going to Scythe the Lifestealer, and the Lifestealer's going to drop. And like I said, honestly, Refresher Orb would have done so much work there, because Benhaz was almost taken from almost half health to dead just off the Omni Slash.
Well, so obviously they didn't need the refresher. QED
But
checkmate.
if they had a second refresher, they would have killed everyone else, and Juggernaut would have got the rampage instead.
Well, I think getting the rampage on Storm Spirit is actually amazing because it.
Oh, Skullbasher on Jug.
Yep. I like this. He wants to fight this Lifestealer man mode, and I think he now, after that fight, might have the tools to do so. I like this Skullbasher because the Butterfly and the Manta together give you so much attack speed. And wow, DG, the patience. Both teams were just circling each other in the water then, and then all of a sudden, I mean, basically what happened is that Munra blinked first. He went, he both literally blinked and figuratively blinked first. Because he went in the pit, and that was it. In that instant, the Piranha leaped out of the water and chowed down on the little Puck Minnow, and that was it. It was like a 6-for-1 trade, maybe even a 7-for-1 trade. Just an astonishing
6
pickup for Dust there. But
Daiko is the only one who got back.
uncowed and unbowed. Here they go. Munra and Benhaz. Big infest coming up, but there's the Omni Slash once again. Benhaz taking a lot of damage. He's being shut down. He's going to go down again. He doesn't have buyback. Huge, actually, Dream Coil there. Benhaz is going to try to make it out of this fight. John is chasing. He is chasing. Here comes the fight. No, he kills him. And actually, what's the buyback status? Nobody on Radiant has any buyback. Then, like I say, Ush is in here. He's going to pick up Daiko. I don't think Daiko can get out of here. Orchid will seal the deal. And oh no, here's the healing ward. This will give a lot of pushing power to Dust. They're going to pick up this tower. Actually, they're still chasing. The disruption is up on Zenders. He gets taken down. It's a godlike streak for Juggernaut. Ush is 12, 14, and 4. That was pre this engagement. John is 12-1, and out of essentially a tie game, DG have constructed an incredibly convincing, what is likely to be, and I apologize for saying it possibly out of turn, but what is likely to be 1-0 in this series.
It definitely is, yeah, I think that's the GG. I think Zender, yeah, he just misclicked and typed H. Fantastic play. It just came down to those two last fights. Both sides being so patient around the Roche pit. Both sides really wanting to get that. And ultimately, we said this before in the first time they were doing the little dance, but it was really, no one wants to be the first one in there because they know the second they go in, they're going to be picked off by the enemy team.
And that's exactly what happened.
And Moonro being a little bit too forward there got himself picked off.
Oh man, I really thought that it would actually be Dust because like I said in the beginning, sometimes Ush will just leap into unknown situations. He is their youngest player. I think he's one of their newer players, but oh, he had the game of his life with that Rampage. Oh man, Prez. I don't want every Dota game to be like that, but I have a huge smile on my face right now that we at least had one game like that. Literally just like a medieval joust there. Both teams with these big fuck-off, like, knight pikes. And they're on their horses, and they just plow straight into each other. And a couple minutes later, one guy is standing over, you know, the flayed corpse of the other one and his horse. Oh, man.
These last couple of days have had some phenomenal games. We got a Storm Spirit Rampage making Blitz very happy. We got a 5-man RP. The fights around the Roche pit have never been better.
Yeah, oh, man. What a way to start. Alright, at least one more game, folks. Possibly more. Netolic.SA, they started so well. Benhaz was farming like a fiend. 66 denies at the end. If you add up the denies from every single person in this game, sub Benhaz, and triple them, I think you might hit the number of denies that he has. But in the end, none of that matters, because we just saw these two teams throw a haymaker at each other, and unfortunately, for Netolic, DG's connected. We're going to go up into the second game in just a couple minutes, folks. Thank you so much for sticking with us. I hope the second game features a couple fights as entertaining as the end of that one was. See you in a bit, folks. Don't run away.